Good morning everyone, Michelle Kerr from DUET Property, coming to you from our lovely DUET offices on this very overcast Friday morning. I've chosen today to do a video about what's going on in the property market, prompted by two things. I've had an enormous amount of calls this week from clients and people in the general community just wanting to get a feel of what's going on and how the pandemic that is upon us at the moment is going to affect property going forward. Also, I've had a lot of calls from people saying, how is this affecting our business? So today, as a lot of people know, I'm a bit of a jokester from time to time, so I'm going to try and keep this really not too serious this morning, but really stick to the facts, because we're going through a really challenging period in the world, and as we know from other challenging periods, we will get through this, but we are going to have new challenges thrown at us every day, and it's going to require us to think differently, to work differently, and more importantly, to come together as a community really differently. So this morning I'm going to be covering three things. I'm going to first of all give you an overview of what we're currently experiencing in the market. Secondly, I'm going to answer the three questions that I'm getting asked the most. If I'm on the market, should I stay on the market? Is it a good time to actually go on the market? And once I get a contract, if it's subject to finance, is the finance industry going to collapse and my buyer isn't going to be able to get their finance? And thirdly, what are we doing in our business to respond to the coronavirus? So let's talk about the current market. Obviously, there's a lot of fear out in the marketplace at the moment. Just generally, we've seen just unprecedented drops in the stock market. The bond market is now getting affected. But what we've seen across our business, and look, let me start by saying we're pretty well represented across the western suburbs. And, you know, as one of the leading agents in the western suburbs, I can probably talk quite specifically to how most businesses are probably feeling. So the last couple of weeks, home open numbers have generally stayed very high. In fact, this week we've had a high number of property sales. I don't know what is going to happen going forward, but at the current moment in time, we're still getting tons of property inquiry. Now, this kind of seems anti-intuitive to what's going on, and there is no real explanation. All I can do is respond to you and let you know what we're experiencing. So over the last week, as a business, we sold a lot of property. None of that property was bought at what I would say under market prices. They were all purchased at round about where we would have expected those properties to transact. Last weekend at our new home opens, we had numbers that are consistent with what we would expect in a really good, healthy market. Now, I've just put two new properties on the market this weekend. Both of those have been responded to really well by buyers in the marketplace with what I would expect to be the normal amount of inquiry and emails. And I think this weekend, particularly tomorrow, is going to be quite a litmus test to see, that's great that people are responding, but are they still coming to home opens? So we will pop back on Monday and give you a little bit of an update. In fact, we're going to try and do that during this period on a more regular basis, because there is so much misinformation out there at the moment. And I would urge you that if you are currently working with a real estate professional, that you really look to them for guidance and good leadership during this period, because as with everything, you are going to hear a ridiculous amount of misinformation and wives' tales and folklore. And what you really need to do is stay calm and listen to the person that's looking after you and take good advice from them. So at the moment, we're pretty much seeing business as usual, and we are fully open for business. In fact, over the next couple of weeks, I have a number of new properties coming to the market. So that basically sums up what is happening in the current marketplace at the moment. Now, the second issue I would like to address is the three questions I'm getting asked this week. The first one, do I sell now? If I'm just about to go on the market, I'm about to have my photos done next week, I've just signed a listing agreement with an agent, and I'm about to launch in the marketplace, do I still do it? And look, this is really something that only you can answer for yourself. Firstly, I'm not a doctor and I'm certainly not a financial advisor. And these are really questions that you need to sit and talk about as a family. There will be people that are just selling because they would like to sell. They don't need to sell. They have no overwhelming motivation. They're not moving for jobs or schools or changing family circumstances. And I think those people, that they're probably more able than most to pause and maybe wait for a couple of months if they don't feel the time is right. A lot of families are not going to have that luxury. They have got circumstances that have been created over the last couple of months that they're ready to go and ready to sell. So I would say take really good advice once again from your professional, but with the clients that we're currently working with, we have no intention in holding them back going to market. I think we're really lucky in the property industry that at the end of the day, people still need somewhere to live, and we are the people that facilitate that. So all of my clients, I'm encouraging them, let's still go to market, but let's just think about how we do things a little bit differently as we take you to market. Second question, I'm on the market, I'm really scared, do I take my house off the market now and then come back in a couple of months? Once again, I think that's a question that you really need to chat to your real estate agent about. You know what, if you've had really good home open numbers at your home open for the last couple of weeks and your agent is still saying you've got really good inquiry, why would you come off the market? Getting onto the market is not a cheap exercise. It's not a stressless exercise. For anyone who's already had a couple of home opens, you probably wished you'd already sold because cleaning up the house is driving you insane. While the interest around your home stays healthy, stay on the market and get it sold. Excuse me. There are so many people still looking for property, and I would encourage you not to succumb to the fear that's out there at the moment and push through if your agent is telling you that's what you should do. Thirdly, what's happening in finance? This has caused a lot of my clients an enormous amount of stress, particularly the ones in the industry that have sold in the last couple of weeks. So you've sold your house, you're really excited. Is the person who bought your house going to get their finance? We've spoken to a number of people in the finance industry and personal bankers across a number of the banks. The banks are not tightening up their finance at this stage. In fact, if you listen to everything that's been said by Scott Morrison and the government over the last couple of days, the lending gates are open. The last thing the government wants in this next 3 to 4 month period is for the flow of money to stop. So please don't be concerned about your clients, your buyer's financial position. It is no different to if they bought a house in the boom. If they are able to buy the home and they meet the bank's tick of approval, they will get the finance. The banks are all of a sudden not going to stop lending because of the coronavirus. They will only not lend to the buyer if they shouldn't borrow money under any circumstances. So please, once again, take guidance from your real estate professional and don't have any concerns around that. Thirdly, that's a lot of talk. I should have had a glass of water. So thirdly, what I would like to talk about is the changes that we are making in our business. Look, you will have seen a lot of businesses make big changes to how they operate over the last 10 days, and DUET is one of those. We're very fortunate that we made a decision when we opened the business that all of our homes would be photographed and filmed in 3D. This has just come at a very beneficial time, particularly given the current environment. So what we are able to offer to buyers is they can walk through our homes anytime. They don't have to have any social contact. They can view the home and get a really good understanding of that home without actually leaving the comfort of their own home. So I think this is going to really set us up wonderfully in the next couple of months to be able to offer inspections to people who maybe are feeling a little bit nervous about leaving the home, or maybe they feel their health's vulnerable and they don't want to put themselves out in the general public space. As a company, all of our non-essential staff are set up to work from home. For those of you who know about us, we are a very high-tech brand. All of our sales reps are perfectly able to work from home, and that is what they're doing at the moment. So we only have what I consider our key essential staff working in the office. And yes, our sales reps are coming and going because we're still selling property and still listing property. But what it means is, as a group of 15 people, we are not all in the office at the same time, and there is only 2 or 3 people in the office. And yes, they are practicing social distancing. They're not happy about it, but they are. One thing we're noticing, we have an amazing culture in here, and the only thing we're suffering from at the moment is a really shortage of really bad jokes because all the people that provide those aren't in the office driving us crazy. So apart from that, we have 100% business as usual. This Saturday, we've made a lot of changes at our home opens, starting with we will have posters up at the doors of all the home opens, educating buyers who aren't quite up to speed. I don't know how you couldn't be not up to speed in this environment. You'd have to be living under a rock. But if you're not up to speed, we will be asking you to be patient with us on Saturday and take some extra precautions. We're going to be asking buyers to only come into homes in small groups. We're going to be asking buyers not to touch anything in the home. Now, it's lovely when you're looking through a home, touching the cupboards, opening the drawers, but we really also need to be mindful that as much it is a step of faith going to a home open as a buyer, it's a step of faith as a seller, allowing people you do not know anything about into your home. So we are asking buyers, please be respectful of the home that you're going into. Please don't come if you've got no interest in buying that home. We're really encouraging only genuine buyers to come to home opens. This is not the time to be out looking at 10 home opens because you're bored on a Saturday. These are other people's homes and we really need to take a great deal of care and make sure that as much as we're protecting buyers, that we're really protecting the clients that we represent. So we'll be asking people to be patient, especially at those busier home opens, as we only allow you through in small groups, that you please do not touch things as you go through the home. We'll be asking you to take your shoes off. And we will be, another thing is this home opens, we will not be handing out any brochures of any type. There will be no information packs, there will be no brochures, there will be no general information about the home handed out. Yes, we do have all this available electronically, and we encourage you to give us your email so that we can send that to you if you have an interest in the home, but just in the interest of minimising any person-to-person contact and transmission of any germs, we won't be handing out anything at our home opens. Whew, that was a lot of information. I don't know about you, but I'm about ready for my 5th coffee for the day. So look, these are challenging times, and out of challenging times come challenging and creative solutions. So in the midst of all this will come some amazing new business ideas. We are a fabulous community in the western suburbs, and by supporting and looking after each and every one of us, we'll get through this. And you know what, in 12 months' time, I'm not saying that we will have forgotten about this, because it's going to probably be the biggest health challenge we're going to face in my generation. But all these things will pass and things will change and we'll move through it. But together, we need to support each other. I encourage you, if you have any elderly people that live near you, in your street, where you live, touch base with those people. They're not only vulnerable because of their health, but they're going to be vulnerable emotionally and mentally. We already have elderly people and disabled people in our community that are isolated and feel lonely normally when society is functioning properly. These people are going to feel this to a much greater extent during these times. So I encourage you, reach out to people you know in your street, reach out to elderly people, let them know your phone number, and that if they're desperate for something to eat or a roll of toilet paper or medications, that we're all in this together and we're all going to stand by each other till we get through this really challenging period. But we're open for business. Please feel free to give me a call or send me an email. I will post all of my information at the top of this post once it's been loaded. Don't hesitate to reach out and speak to us, no matter where you are, what you're thinking. If you need a roll of toilet paper, I can't guarantee we've got supplies, but we'll do our best. But let's just all support each other and get through this so we come out the other end smiling. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye.